Today, let's learn Onam Saree draping. Isn't this saree gorgeous? I did make a mistake while draping this saree, which is really common to make if you're draping a saree by yourself. I am also sharing how exactly to correct the mistake. So keep watching the video until the end to learn the mistake that I made and how to correct it. If you want to learn more about saree draping, styling, dressing your body shape and feeling confident in your own body, subscribe to my channel and turn that notification on. Let's learn Onam Saree draping. As usual, I'm starting with my inskirt and I'm wearing a shirt over my blouse, so I won't reveal so much of my skin. Also, I'm wearing a saree shapewear in this video. If you want to know the review on it, please let me know in the comment section. I'll definitely do a video on it. Start by unfolding your saree and pick the end that you are going to tuck into your inskirt. While doing it, make sure you don't tuck in your pallu. I have done it in the beginning of saree draping, when I started draping sarees, so don't do that. And pick your saree and align it to the ground, and it should be flat. If you're going to wear heels, this is the time you have to wear your heels before starting to drape your saree, because or else once you drape the saree, you will find that you can see the heels and it's not a good look. Once you have found the right length, now it's time to tuck in the saree. So first twist it and tuck it in just like how I'm doing it here, because it will ensure the saree doesn't slip away from your inskirt. So once you're done with that, now it's time to adjust the sides and see whether you have pulled your saree up or anything. Just make sure your saree is straight and all aligned flatly. Now tuck in the saree, and while doing it, make sure your saree goes all the way in and it lies flat, because when we tuck the waist pleat, you don't want it to show bulky. So make sure everything lies flat when you're tucking it in. Now bring the saree around you once, so it will make a round one, and I always do the round two. People always ask me why I do this, how can you walk. You will see how I actually bring it out while pleating. You will see that. For now, do the second round and tuck the end of the second round into your inskirt, so it will be easy for you to make your pleats align right, and the other part of the saree won't disturb you at all. Take your pallu. Now you have to decide whether you're going to do it single pleat or you're going to pleat your pallu. If you're going to do a single pleat, now it's time to decide the length. Always make sure you have shorter length from your shoulder. The length of your pallu should be shorter from your shoulder. Reason is, if you have a pallu that is longer from your shoulder, if you wrap around your saree and hold it, it will look so long, it will be very uncomfortable. You will step on it and do all that. I did that mistake when I was draping my all my sarees in a hurry for my saree collection video, which is coming up next. Now it's time to pleat our pallu. When you start pleating, the first step is measuring your saree alongside your shoulder. Why you have to make sure your pleats are exactly the length of your shoulder is because if your pallu goes beyond your shoulder, it will give a broad shoulder look. If you have a pear body shape or triangular body shape, that will help you to broaden your shoulders. But most of the time, when you don't have an exact pear shape and a very narrow shoulder, I wouldn't recommend it, because having your pallu exactly to your shoulder length will give you a slimmer look. Also, if you are in the thinner side, if you have a pallu that goes beyond your shoulder, it will make you even more thin and it's not a good look. Now let's get back to pleating. So once you decided the shoulder length for your pallu, now you have to make your first pleat bigger, that is stick to the length of the pallu that you have already selected, and then make the next upcoming pleat smaller than the first pleat, as I'm showing you in the clip. When you do this, you will achieve more pleat on your pallu, and also it won't look like you have a very thin pallu. If it sounds confusing to you, I have a whole video on how to pleat your pallu. I will link it in the description box. You can find it, and in that I have a better view of how to pleat your pallu. Once you have pleated it, it's now time to pin it. The reason we are pinning it here is because if we pin it, it won't move at all. The pleat will stay in place and it will help us to make the pleats really perfect. After this, we are going to pleat the rest of the pallu. It will get much easier. You see, it won't move. Now I'm holding it and starting to make the pleat straight as I'm holding it. That is what even you have to do. Start pleating it, because this saree has lines. I'm following the lines when I'm pleating. If you don't have lines, you just follow the grain of the thread. You will be able to see the thread of your saree. Follow it. You don't need to be precisely straight, but try to be as straight as possible while taking your pleats. That will help in making all of your pleat folds straight and good. That will give such a beautiful draped look. Just like you're seeing me do, you have to adjust each pleat and make sure each pleat that you have folded stay straight and to the line. That's how you can make sure all the pleats are aligned right. And in the back also, if you see, every pleat will be folded just like how I'm showing, and you have to pin there also. The reason we are pinning here is to make sure this part of the pallu doesn't move, so it will be helpful for us to make the rest of the pleats stay right, and it will help us to fold the pleats so good and neat. You have to repeat the same process again and again until you achieve the desired length of your pallu. You can see my pallu is hitting just above the ground. I like a very long pallu, that's how I like it. And if you like it short, you can make it any length that you desire. Once you decide the length, pin your sari horizontally. It's really important. Don't pin your sari vertically, pin it horizontally so it will lie flat on your shoulder. Once you're done, this is how your pallu will look, and I really like this look. The border is like accentuated and your pallu is not going to move anywhere. Now pin your pallu to your blouse. Make sure you pin your sari behind your shoulder blade, just below your shoulder blade, so it will lie flat and it will give a much better appearance. Once you're done, now take your pallu and go around your bust or breast area and make sure you make it lie flat, and make sure your sari doesn't have wrinkles or anything. Make it lie flat and bring it around to your waist just like I'm showing. Now it's time to take out the second pleat. You remember you tucked your sari to your side. Now take out the sari that you have tucked and pull your sari from your left side very gently. You can see me making my moves really gentle because I don't want to cause any wrinkles, because it's a cotton sari. I don't want to cause any wrinkles, so do it gently. And now you have the perfect sari to pleat your waist pleats. Now start adjusting your pleat on your bust area. Pull it and bring it to your waist side and make sure your sari lies flat. In the back, make sure your borders are not wrinkled up or anything. Make sure it's flat just like how I'm showing. While you're draping Onam sari, this will happen. So to avoid it, make sure you make it lie flat and then bring it diagonally over your right leg. So when you do that, you will know where your sari exactly falls on your curve. This will vary from person to person, so you have to find where your sari naturally falls on your waist. For me, where I am pointing right now is where my sari falls really good on my curves, so that is where I'm going to pin my sari. Why I am pinning my sari here is I don't want my sari to come low and expose my waist area. If you are someone who likes to show off your waist, there is no issues with that. Go ahead and do what you like. So when you want to do that, don't pin where I exactly pinned right now. Just skip that part and bring your sari diagonally and pin it over your right leg. While pinning here, you have to pin it along with your inskirt, so it will make sure your pleat doesn't move and it will lie like this and flat, and it will give you the gorgeous model like fit just like you see in the sari advertisement posters. Now start making your pleats by pulling your sari from your right and start making the pleats. Make sure the first pleat that you're going to make lays straight. As you can see, the line goes straight in my sari. Just like that, make sure your sari pleat also goes really straight. This will ensure your sari pleat will lay straight throughout the day and it won't like fan out, although I like the fanned out look. And make sure your very first waist pleat is bigger than the rest. This will also allow it to lie in the same position and neatly throughout the day. As you can see, the sari pleat is so straight, and the very first pleat of this sari, as you can see, it's quite big. I promise the next coming pleats are not going to be this big. It's going to be smaller, which will give you a very flared and beautiful, perfectly pleated, lots of pleat sari look. Oh my god, it's a mouthful. Whatever. And As you see, the next pleat is going to be smaller, and when you're going to do it, make sure you follow the sari's fold line. The sari's fold line is when you buy a new sari, when you open it, you already have the folds of the sari forming a line. That is called the sari fold line. I'm calling it the sari fold line. When you follow the sari fold lines, your sari pleats are going to stay straight for a very long time, and it will look prettier also for a long time. If it's a new sari, it's easy to find the fold lines, but if it's an old sari or like you have draped it many times, you won't have any sari fold lines. You can iron your pleats after you have draped it. I have a whole video for that. I will link it in the description box. Make sure you watch it if you want to iron your waist pleats after you have draped your sari. So as you can see in my pleating, all the pleats are different size. My aim here is to teach you to make perfect pleats that will look flared and gorgeous once you drape the sari, and not to how to measure your pleats. So make sure you make as many as pleats your sari allows at this point, and make sure you follow the lines also. Once you did that, you will have beautiful pleating. The last pleat is going to be a bit trickier. Trickier meaning it's not going to be tough to make, but it's tricky to learn. If you notice closely, the last pleat is going to be diagonal. The pleat is going to sit diagonal because we have pinned it on top of our right side leg. So before going to that, make sure all the pleats that you have already taken is like good and straight. I'm just adjusting my pleats here just like that. Make sure all the pleats are set right at this point, and hold it below the actual pleats that you have holded. Just follow the steps I'm doing here. This step is going to be not same for everyone. Even for me, if I'm going to drape a neck sari, it's going to be a bit different, because I'm just pulling my sari and making the next pleat form right by pulling it and making sure the sari lies flat on me. You can see I'm pointing to you. I'm pulling it and making it lie flat over the previous pleats, and also I'm making sure the pleats go straight from my waist and lies flat. As you can see, the last pleat goes diagonal. Now pin where you're going to tuck in your sari. So when you're pinning it, make sure you pin it horizontally and not vertically, and also don't pin the last pleat because it is diagonal. If we are going to tuck it in and if it pulls, it's not going to be easy on the sari. But when you're tucking it in, make sure the diagonal pleat, let it lie just on top of it and make it go together while you tuck in the sari. While tucking your sari in, make sure all the pleats are straight and good, and tuck it in real good and make sure it lies flat inside your inskirt. And now also when you're tucking in your sari, make sure you tuck it in just above your belly button and make sure the pleats are starting from your belly button. That will ensure that your pleats are in the right position and alignment to your body and make you look perfectly beautiful. Now adjust your pallu pleats and make sure it's lying good on your bust area. And now, just like I'm showing here, let your hands go in and pull the very first pleat and pin it on top of your blouse. This will ensure your pleats doesn't go hit your neck or something like that, because that looks really odd. So this will make sure your pallu lies really good on your chest area and over your bust area. Now adjust your pallu pleats and all, and pull your pallu from your bust area to your waist area. That is the step I missed. You will notice missing that step caused a very big problem. Not actually a big problem. It caused my sari to bulk up in the back. Like on my bum area, it got little bulked up, and it's not a big issue, but for me, I noticed it because I don't have a mirror in front of me. I didn't notice. I just was using my viewfinder. After finishing draping and when I looked into the mirror, that's when I realized I made that mistake, and I'm thankful that I made that mistake, so I can exactly show you how to avoid it and how you can easily make this mistake. As you can see in the video, when you miss this step, this is the exact mistake you will make and you will have that bulkier appearance. To avoid this mistake, start from your pallu pleats, start pulling it from your bust area to your waist area, just like how I'm showing in the video. When you do this, you are already reducing all the bulkiness that's on the back or the bum area, and while you do it, start pulling your pleats just like how I'm showing here. It will create a pocket like appearance. Don't worry about it. Start pulling it and don't make it too tight. Pull it comfortably tight, so it even when you move, it is not going to affect how your sari is held onto your body. So now start adjusting your pleats that you have just pulled, the pocket like appearance. Make it lie flat on your body, on your curves, and pin it just exactly where it lies on top of your sari. Just like you see, I am working with my curves. You have to let your sari flow on your curves and pin it exactly where you feel it comfortably flowing. Next, adjust the extra pleats that you see, just like how I am doing, and pin it on top of it. So it will give you a perfectly draped look once you have finished doing this step. As the final step, hold all your waist pleats together and pin it from the inside. As you can see where I have pinned, pin it right there vertically and not horizontally. That will give the perfect good looking sari pleats. It's the end of Onam Saree draping tutorial from me. I hope you learn how to drape your Onam sarees. Thank you so much for watching. Click the like button to let me know you liked this video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe for more sari and styling videos. I'm sharing my sari collection in my next video. Turn on the notifications so you won't miss it. Watch this video on screen to learn how to drape your silk sari perfectly, and click this circle icon to subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you in my next video. Until then, be kind to one another. With love, Sindhu.